See here again. This time for something slightly less ridiculous, but no more less annoying. Uh, Shroomlights. Good old Shroomlights. Where do you get these? From nether trees. Now, nether trees, up until quite recently, they had a bug in them, where when you grew said nether tree, it would overwrite any non-solid blocks around, like all of these pistons, any glass that was in here. It would just all be completely annihilated. So, for you to have any kind of nether tree, you had to go through a complicated means of sticky pistons with alternating rows of slime and honey to push that wood out so you could get it into a cubifier so that you could get something with warped wood. Or, I guess, crimson. Warped is better, for the most part, but not for today's exercise. But they fixed that bug, like I said. So pistons no longer get erased when they grow. And I thought to myself, what does that mean? And then it occurred to me, I want shroomlights. Shroomlights. You know, there's lots of solid blocks that emit light. You have sea lanterns. Build a guardian farm. You'll get thousands an hour. The farm's insane. Frog lights, fun to build, a little irritating to get them in the nether. But what if you want shroomlights? This is a light emitting block, but there's only one way to renewably get it. There's only one way to even get it. It's not like you can barter for it. You have to get it from a tree. Specifically, a huge fungus, either warped or crimson, from the nether, or build a farm for it. And I've done that. So a quick little overview. Your typical pattern here, whenever a tree grows, is that center ring is going to be the stem. And then you have the most likely odds of having a shroomlight be in that row immediately around it, followed by nether wart. Now, you can still get shroomlights out further, but they're going to be really rare. This inner ring right here of 8 blocks is really where you're going to get the meat of your farm from. Now, of course, the problem with that being, how do you farm all of this? I have figured out how to get exactly 3 of these spots of the 8 available. If you're better than redstone than me, let me know. This is the best I could come up with. So, since pistons are no longer erased, I have created alternating rows of pistons, feeding this way, that way, and back and forth. So I'm actually getting 5 out from the center stem, which is really good, because that's getting me 3 spots where I am most likely to get nether wart. And then these outer ones as well will occasionally get some. This monstrosity of a farm is several hundred, well, a couple hundred pistons. So here's what we've got. This is basically Groova Guy's farm for fungus modified. So it'll grow. So for me to meet all that I need for growing requirements is planted on the right nylium, and it needs a single block. And that's what I've done. Forget the wood. We don't care about the wood. We want shroomlights. So I have created 2 giant cubing areas here. And by the time I'm done running all this, these 5 cube makers of nether wart and shroomlights will get filled up almost to the max, but not quite. So I'm not worried about any pistons breaking. No backup. Then I go through, break all this wood, rinse and repeat. To maximize my rates, I have actually offset my piston column by 1 block. So right here, if you look up, there we go. Oh, can't even do that. If you look up right here, that's my wall of pistons. Because, well, I don't want stems. So since the stems won't delete the pistons, but they'll grow like normal anyway, what that actually means is I get nether wart. I'm harvesting all 3 of my orange areas over there for sweet, sweet shroomlights. And the rest is just bonus. So, typical Groova Guy design here as far as down underneath the ground I have it so this gets regenerated by bone meal. I'm just doing a simple reading here in order to get it growing. And I can plant it fast. And it'll just keep going till it fills up. It's fun to play around with. So, I've got here the 5 different item streams. I'm utilizing pistons and observers here, specifically through Y levels, counting from where the planting area is, Y levels 4 through 13, because that is the most likely areas for shroomlights to grow, it would seem. Just for me running this and where I've seen them pop up. They will occasionally come higher, but not really enough to warrant trying to capture here. So I ran this whole farm until these were filled up. And then I spent probably another 15 minutes going through and insta-mining everything with my netherite hoe and the occasional stem with my efficiency 5. I've got a beacon going with haste 2 so I can insta-mine all this. And for 7 minutes, for me to fill all this up, I went through 12 stacks of bone meal. And what did I get for all my troubles? I got a little less than 3 stacks of shroomlights and about 43 stacks, or 42 and a half stacks, of nether wart. Why would I want nether wart blocks? Why would I want shroomlights? Because shroomlights are awesome. Look at that. You can compost it, but we don't want to. But speaking of composting, here's the thing. These 3 stacks, 95% of these 3 stacks came from my 3 center areas where I've got that right there. I've got a piston here, here, and here. And it's just pushing them separate ways. But I went ahead and captured this outer layer of mostly warped nether wart. A warped nether block. Why? Because, again, I went through 12 stacks of bone meal. You can compost all this for more bone meal to keep feeding this farm. I don't really know how to count rates for this thing. Do you count it how long you're running it for? If that's the case, it made almost 3 stacks of shroomlights in 7 minutes. But then I spent 10 to 15 minutes harvesting it in cube makers. You could use a gas blaster, hook this up to some auto bone meal, and just let it run for a while to get yourself a lot of shroomlights. I'm not good with gas blasters or wither cages, although I may start experimenting with them. I don't know. But if you are looking to build a different kind of nether wart or warped wart block and shroomlight farm, this bug fix really changed the game, because now you can separate out all 3 item streams. It's a lot of redstone, it's a lot of pistons, but hey, nobody said getting shroomlights was easy. Old Rusty out.